Hello and welcome to the Public Engagement in Data series. I'm Shada, the Senior Public Engagement Manager for ADR UK, and today I'm with Dr. Alice Wickersham, ADR UK Research Fellow at King's College London, who's going to tell us a little bit about the public engagement work she did to inform her research using ethnicity data.
Thanks, Shada. So one of the challenges of using administrative data for research is that socio-demographic data like ethnicity is not always consistently recorded between different public sector organisations. So in linked administrative data sets, the ethnicities recorded for individuals sometimes differ between data sources. So to understand this further, we did a study last year as part of my ADR UK fellowship, looking at similarities and differences in how ethnicity is recorded in the Police National Computer as compared to the National People Database. And before I started writing the final report for that, I wanted to hold a focus group with members of the public to get their perspective on the emerging results. So this was to help me shape recommendations which I could make as a result of the work, and also just to generally get their feedback on the analyses that I'd done. So I reached out to the National Institute for Health and Care Research Maudsley Biomedical Research Centre Race and Ethnicity Advisory Group, and that's based in South London. We met online and 8 members of the group attended, plus a facilitator.
That sounds great. How did it go? Did you learn anything surprising?
Yes, absolutely. So the focus group actually raised some concerns about the associations that I presented between ethnicity, education, and criminal justice. So the reason I wanted to report these associations was to illustrate how discrepancies in ethnicity recordings could impact on analyses using these data downstream. But the study wasn't actually really designed to accurately investigate these associations. And so members of the group expressed a concern that by presenting these associations, however well-intentioned that might be, it could mislead readers as to the overall purpose and meaning of the study. So even with caveats, the associations could be interpreted as accurate and meaningful, which could in turn risk further disadvantaging certain communities off the back of those findings. So basically my analysis as it stood wasn't really achieving what I wanted it to achieve in terms of highlighting discrepancies in ethnicity data. And someone actually said to me afterwards that I must be a little bit disappointed that I didn't get the feedback that I'd maybe been hoping for from the group. And it can definitely be difficult to assimilate feedback like that, especially if you've worked really hard on something. But in a much more significant way, I was really delighted that I'd been prevented from putting something out into the world that wasn't achieving what I wanted it to. And actually, this is, I think, an example of public engagement doing exactly what it's supposed to do, challenging researcher preconceptions and highlighting insights which we've potentially completely missed. So after reflecting, I did take those analyses in question out, and I refocused back on my original research question, which actually ultimately led me to a set of findings which made a much stronger case for the points that I wanted to highlight in the final report.
Thanks, Alice. Yeah, it really goes to show that public engagement is meaningful, even when the outcome of the engagement is different to what you anticipated it to be. And what I really love about this case study is that it really demonstrates the power of consulting different perspectives in better understanding your research and also how to communicate your findings. Is there any advice that you'd like to offer others who are looking to do public engagement with a focus group setting?
Absolutely. So first of all, definitely go for it. It was essential for my research and for my final report, and it could be essential for yours as well. You really won't know what subtleties and interpretations you could be missing until you conduct this sort of engagement work. I'd also say get organised. The practicalities of seeking input from the public can be really challenging, but it pays off to plan in advance and reach out to focus groups sooner rather than later, and also liaise closely with people who actually have expertise in conducting public engagement work. And finally, I'd say when you run a focus group like this, go in being genuinely open to the group's perspective, even if that means that you might have to go back to the drawing board afterwards and rethink what you've done a little bit. There's no point asking for feedback in this way if you're not willing to meaningfully listen to what the answer is.
Thanks, Alice. I couldn't have said it better myself. You can read more about Alice's work on the ADO UK Learning Hub. If you've done some public engagement and are interested in talking about your work, please get in touch.